So I finally finished the first playthrough about a week ago. It's funny because I actually began the game on December 13th and I finished it on January 13th. So what? That's like a full month. I overall I love the game despite everything. The, disastrous launch despite what the studio had said. I mean, they removed the fucking game. Sony removed the fucking game from PlayStation Store. And for him to put out that tweet defending the game and pretending that, oh, everything is fine, like that dog with the hat sitting in the house or coffee shop on fire. I think it's a coffee shop. I don't know. Everybody knows that meme of the dog sitting there saying this is fine. That's Badowski, the studio head for CDPR, to, say stupid shit like, well, we got 10 out of 10s from a lot of respectable gaming companies. Like, fuck those respectable gaming companies. They're the same assholes who said that Last of Us is Game of the Year last year. And that fucking franchise is dead. They just ruined that franchise. Sure, there's people who liked it, but what's hilarious to me about The Last of Us stands is that those assholes didn't even play the game. They just watched it on YouTube. So you got a bunch of people who didn't buy the fucking game talking about how great it is. But Naughty Dog is the one who's going to have to spend the money on a Last of Us 3. And who the fuck they're going to get to buy it? I mean, those games are not cheap. Especially with the detail and the effort that goes into the actual development of it. I dare Naughty Dog to do a Last of Us 3. But anyway, back to Cyberpunk. So, I love the game. I hate management at CDPR. Mainly just because of this Badowski guy and his stupid Twitter response to Jason Schrier, who I'm also not really a fan of. He's a prick. But he does do good work, do good reporting regarding practices and big companies when development and that sort of thing. And he always comes out with good leaks and good critiques of sort of like the gaming culture. Not gamers' gaming culture, but like, developers. And particularly the one he just put out with regards to the disastrous launch of Cyberpunk 2077. And the fact that a lot of the features were cut, not because of artistic choices, which anybody who plays the game realizes this. I knew before the game came out, when they said, oh, it's not going to have third person, it's not going to have cutscenes, third person cutscenes. When they said that, I knew then that they were cutting it because they wanted to release the game quickly. But at the time, I just accepted it as, it sucks, but I didn't think that meant the game would be released in a buggy state. I thought that meant they did that so the game wouldn't be released in a buggy state. I would have rather than put all of that shit in, have it come out a year later, be buggy, and then fixed later than to come out the way it is now. And like I said, it's great now. But imagine what it could have been if they gave us close to what they promised us in the beginning. And I still don't understand how he could say, again, Badowski, the studio head, him talking about, oh, that 2018 demo is not a fake. And our current game looks better than that. No, it doesn't. Look at Female V then versus now. The first big disappointment for me happened right at the beginning of me firing up the game. I went to the character creator, found the Female V, or chose the Female V, saw her, and I couldn't believe this is what... I'm like, her? Wait a minute, what happened to the one from the... That was what I was waiting for. I could not wait to play as this character. And then they just give us this hoo-hum, whatever. That sucked. But anyway, like I said, I do love the game, despite all my complaints. I probably won't play it again, though, until they patch it. And until they give us a new game plus. Because I don't really feel like going over again, earning all that money, unlocking and upgrading whatever I unlocked and upgrade. Plus, I think when they do patch it, they'll probably get rid of the cool money glitches. And I don't want to spend time trying to, redo those again. We'll see, though. So Schrier came out a couple of days ago with his report on the bad launch. Then a day or two later, ya boy, Badowski, studio head of CDPR, came out with his Twitter response, cherry-picking the points that was in the article. And I'm going to put a link. I think I'm going to put a link in the description below if you're interested in reading that article. It's from Bloomberg. I don't subscribe to them, so I probably already ran out of how many times I can read from them. But I did read the article. It was good. It wasn't really that long. And it really just confirmed a lot of stuff that people already figured out by playing the game. That it wasn't in development that long, despite people who want to defend it and kind of explain the process. Because, they announced the game, I think, back in 2012 or 2013. But they didn't actually get down to it. And I've been saying this in previous videos about this game. They didn't actually start the game until the end of 2016. Well, start the full production part of it. So again, in that short amount of time, for them to do what they did is really amazing. But again, the game suffers for it because they cut so much content. They cut things that people really were looking forward to. I bought the game, pre-ordered it, so I got it, I bought it, and I have to play what I have to play. I didn't feel like returning it, and I just got into it. But I understand a lot of people saying this is not the game I wanted. If I, when they first advertised the game, it was supposed to be an RPG. When the game come out, now all of a sudden, oh no, it's just an open adventure story. So it's like everything that they told us was a lie, just about. So if you wanted a deep RPG, you didn't get it. So why would you want to continue to play with it, or play it? So yeah, I'm in this weird place, and I've been in this weird place since the fucking game came out. If they didn't tell us the things they told us in the beginning, I would say this is my favorite game of the year, even though I don't really count Cyberpunk as a 2020 game. My game of 2020 is Ghost of Tsushima. And I don't know. I don't know if I would say this is better. It could have been. That's the thing. There are some really. I don't know if it's just because of the acting on Cherami Lee, the person who plays the actress for V. No, it's not just her. It's not just her. It's the music. It's the writing. It's a lot of the gameplay loops. The gunplay is really great. I'm not a melee I'm not a melee build character, so I don't know how great that really is. It looks kind of awkward, the punching. I never do really like melee for first person, but the gunplay is really great. I didn't really care about shotguns, but I did pistols, which are amazing, which usually I'm not a big pistol person. I like rifles, assault rifles, more than anything. But with this game, the pistols were my favorite. And the sniper rifle too, which I'm not really big on sniper rifles, but Overwatch, Pan Am's sniper rifle, that silent sniper rifle that she gives you at the end of the second quest you go on with her. That gun is amazing, especially when you get the epic edition of it. I didn't play enough to do legendary upgrades, and so that's something that I'm looking forward to do if they give us a new game plus soon. With the patches, I don't know if I feel like playing it from the beginning, starting from level 0. I think what made the game for me kind of easy to get through, just, because I enjoyed the music and I really did enjoy the acting and the story. But one of the things that helped just playing it was glitches that you could exploit for money, in particular. So that made it easy to get around and to do things that probably if you're just playing it straight, you get sick of doing and then just stop. You wouldn't want to deal with all the other bugs and glitches and problems. So, yeah, like I said, so I beat the game, but I didn't level my character up. I didn't max my character up at all. I didn't finish all the side quests. I got to a point where the story just seemed to say, look, you gonna die if you don't go and pretty much go to the point of no return. And I got a little antsy about that. I probably shouldn't. It's probably not. Other people have said this now that I'm, past the spoiler point of worrying about spoilers. It probably doesn't really matter when you decide to try to get Johnny Silverhand out of your head. Because see, and that's the thing of the game, right? I don't know how many people care about spoilers at this point. But the main storyline is after the job, the heist, goes wrong. You go on this heist early on to try to make it big in Night City with this fixer named Dex. You're going to try to make your name as a legend in Night City. You're going to try to move up in the world, you and your buddy Jackie. So you agree to do this heist, and it goes wrong because you're trying to steal something called the relic, and you don't know really what it is, but it's really important. Things get fucked up, and you end up having to put this relic, this chip, in your head. Come to find out that the relic is actually the downloaded, digitized personality of an old rock star. Well, he's not even a rock star, an old rocker / terrorist from like 50 years before the game begins, who I guess he nuked Night City, or he at least nuked a place called Arasaka, a building called Arasaka. You find out at a certain point, I think he did it for an old girlfriend. Kind of a complicated storyline, but this woman who got trapped in a computer. It's too much to get into. I'm not a big expert in the lore, and I don't really feel like getting into it too much, but it seems like an ex-girlfriend of his was taken by these people, his being Johnny Silverhand, the rocker guy. So a girlfriend of his was taken by these people for some nefarious reason, which I don't remember. And she ended up dying and getting trapped in the computer. Well, like in the net. She got trapped in the net. And he got really upset, Johnny. And so he decided to nuke. Anybody can correct me. Anybody who's listening to this who knows better can correct me on this. But he decided to nuke Arasaka Tower, the tower where she was killed or taken to and trapped in the net. And then he ended up getting captured and killed, and his personality was downloaded, and eventually it ended up as this thing called the Relic in the head of V, the character you play as. Probably shouldn't even try to explain all of that. But, so the main storyline is this construct is killing you and is threatening to take you over, your personality, your body, everything. So Johnny Silverhand, who's a dick for the most part, is this voice in your head who appears, like a hologram. He talks to you, he insults you, you both argue and bicker back and forth. And, the whole story is just you trying to get him out or try to figure a way out. Because they tell you, it can't be done. That's it. At a certain point, you're going to die. And either Johnny will take over or you'll just both dissipate. And so the RPG element, or the pretend RPG element, is your choice matters. Whatever you choose, be careful how you choose, because that's what you're going to end up with. And in a small way, there's some kind of difference to the endings. Again, I'm not a super expert. I have an idea, or it looks like, based on what I checked after playing the game. It looks like I picked the best ending. And for me, it was just because I had a thing for Pan Am. So I had done her entire quest. And when it came time to make a decision about how you were going to handle your predicament, you could have Johnny do it with some of his old friends or friend, or you could on your own decide, no, it's me, it's my life, I got to do it. The game kind of pushes you in that direction. They give you this big speech about, you got to stand on your own 2 feet, and that's like near the end, like when they tell you, look, whatever you're going to do, you better decide to do it on your own, like one of your friends tell you that. But also very early on, the scene I talked about in an earlier video, the Joy Toy scene, where you go to the brothel to try to get information on this woman named Evelyn, who helped plan the heist with you, who just disappears after it all went to shit. So you go looking for her, and you talk to this Joy Toy, and the scene is just beautifully done. And I give a lot of the credit to, at least my version of it, to Trami Lee, the actress for V, the female V. It's just the way she starts the scene out, the sadness in her voice when she starts to speak to the Joy Toy, when she tells her real name. So you're playing this early scene. You walk into the room with the Joy Toy. Her name is Sky, and she says that because you're known as V for the first, you're known as V throughout the entire game, but early in it, when you get to this scene, you walk into the brothel. You walk into the room with this woman named Sky, who you've chosen to spend some time with, and she calls you by your real name. And for the female V, it's Valerie. And so the female V basically says, no, just call me V. Only people who know me real well call me by my real name. But the line reading is perfect. It's so sad. And it has all this longing and remembrance to it that just sets everything up perfectly. But anyway, so during that scene, after, you're going back and forth trying to find out where Evelyn is, the Joy Toy lady, the sex worker, is not talking to you about that. Like, that has nothing to do with why you're here. She's saying, you think you want to find out about this woman, Evelyn, but your path is what's really more important. And she talks to her, Sky talks to V, about how she's never backed down from anything in her life. And if she's got to kill, she's going to kill. Whatever she's got to do, she's going to do it. So that scene stuck with me. So when the time comes and, you've got a decision to make, and Johnny, in your head, is telling you, look, let me take over. I got some of my old friends. We're going to get together and we're going to take care of this. Let me do it. You're not strong enough anymore. You're breaking down at this point. You're like Walter White, coughing up a lung every 10 seconds, stumbling and falling all over the place. And, you pass out. He takes you to this doctor, and the doctor tells you, stand on your own 2 feet. You got to do this. Don't let that parasite in your head take over. And I'm like, the game is trying to set you up, trying to make it hard to figure out what you should do. But I know what I'm going to do. I've already decided. I'm going to just do this myself. By this point, I've already become really close to Johnny. We have this really cool moments where we express how much we would do for each other. And I love those moments. Those one of the reasons why I love the game is that it doesn't take much, and they did a lot in this game, but the core of it was just enough. These few 3 or 4, maybe 5 scenes were enough for me to be like, yeah, I love this game. I love what they're talking about. I love the heart that goes into it or went into it. But anyway, so Johnny tells you, let me take over. I'll do it. The doctor guy says, you need to stand on your own 2 feet. You need to do it. And then I go, you know what? Pan Am and I have been through a lot. I love her booty. I'm going to call her up and get her and her rough rider friends, to help me. And I'm like, this is going to go terribly wrong. And everybody tells you basically, this is a bad idea, right? Johnny tells you. You call Pan Am in the middle of the night. Pan Am says, are you sure you want to do this? I mean, I'm down with you. I'm ride or die. But you're going to get me and all my friends killed. Are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And I don't know. It works out for the most part. It works out. I'm not going to get into all of that. But all that stuff I enjoyed. I'm not 100% certain what's going to happen if they do DLC going forward. The ending, even though it was really good, implies that maybe things are not really settled. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. This playthrough, I only did, the main story. I didn't level up to the max. And I think, like I said, I probably won't do any more for it or with it until New Game Plus. Even with the patches, I may not do anything else. But, yeah, so basically, I'm willing to be like, oh, this is a 5-star out of 5 game. It's great. I love it despite everything. But then the past couple of days with the Schrier report, with Badowski, the studio head's shitty response, and then another plot twist. Crowbcat There's this YouTuber who, from what I hear, he retired. He makes great comparison videos to what a studio or developer will promise versus what finally comes out. So he just came out a couple of days ago with this amazing 40-something minute video on Cyberpunk 2077. And it really riled me up and pissed me off even more. It's funny because, you're playing the game and it has problems and they've cut content. But you also give it up to the developers for doing such a great job. The actors and the crew and all this stuff. But then you see this video and then you just get so pissed remembering just how much they told you was going to be in this game versus what they actually delivered. And then to see how shitty they are and trying to pretend that, no, the only real problem was we didn't realize it wasn't going to look great on old gen consoles. And we owned up to that. So we're going to do our best to fix it by February. And it's fine. Don't be a hater. This is great. We did great. It's like, fuck you. So I'm in this weird place. But yeah, so right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to link the Bloomberg article and then the Crowbcat video. The Crowbcat video is really great. It's hilarious. It's infuriating when you look at, what they've, what they didn't do, and that's it, I guess. I mean, I've moved on for now. I'm only talking about this now because it's sort of like a nice little capper until something else comes up later. I'm not even going to worry about any more quality of life things. Like I said, all of that stuff is done and dusted. The game is what it is. They'll probably patch it up. Some DLC will address things probably like being able to change how your character looks. She'll probably never look like the demo version, the 2018 reveal version. I'm not interested in playing as the male V. I mean, I'm a guy, so I don't really care about playing as a guy. I usually never play as a guy in role-playing games because it's kind of boring. Like I said, I'm already a guy, so I don't need to. There's nothing to get out of it. I guess, it really comes down to if you play video games as if you're the person or if you play it as if you want to lose yourself into someone else. And, the difference is not even really that big. Like a lot of times between the male and the female, it's really just, the look and then the voices and the way that they deliver lines. And for me, from what little I've heard, and it's not fair to the male actor, I'm sure he's doing a great job too, but from what I heard, comparing certain scenes side by side between the male actor and the female actor is better to me. And I think, speaking of acting, I understand people who say Johnny Silverhand or Keanu Reeves sound stiff as Johnny Silverhand. And I'm going to sound kind of like a fanboy when I say I actually like his performance a lot. He doesn't sound quite as sort of natural and flowing as the other actors do. But it kind of fits because it sounds like he's putting you on. He's this kind of a showman, but he's a dick version of a showman. He's not necessarily trying to entertain you. He's trying to impress you. So the way he delivers his line, that he says what he says, sounds like someone who believes his own hype and someone who thinks you believe it too. So I actually like his delivery a lot. And I think that, I just think it's good. I think it's good. And I think it's, I think it was a great choice for him to be Silverhand. I don't know how much getting Keanu Reeves ruined the original story. Jackie is your partner at the beginning of the game. You only get to play with him or alongside him for a few hours before everything goes to shit. He dies and you get the construct in your head. I feel like maybe the original story was you and Jackie together for most of it. And then when they got Keanu, it was like, fuck that. We've got a mega movie star. It's got to be about him. And I get it. I really do. But I do think, again, because they had such a short official development cycle that they had to cut whatever else that could have enhanced the game. But yeah, that's it. I guess I'm just nattering on right now. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. Take care.